Right, let's see if this stream is going out. Are we streaming? Are we streaming? Yes, we are. Video will play after this ad. I want to make sure it's all kicking in and working. And yes, we are. So, hi, I'm Stewie3D, and if you've been watching my channel the last few weeks, I've been having some wireless dilemma. Basically, every time my laptop would connect to the 5 GHz Wi-Fi network, it would randomly just freeze and not have any of it. Now, it turns out I have done everything over the last few weeks. So I have tried a different operating system. I loaded up Linux Live USB, same issue. I tried different drivers. I've tried different firmwares on the router. I've tried all sorts, turning things off and on, settings I've never even flipping come across before. And then last week I did a test, and the Intel wireless worked perfect. The 7265 wireless worked perfect with the BT Smart Hub, but then was having an issue with the Asus router. However, the Asus router was working absolutely fine with all my other 5 GHz devices, including my wife's work laptop, which has the Intel 8260 in it. So I figured, okay, well, I'm opening the laptop up anyway to stick more RAM in. I haven't done that yet because the RAM hasn't arrived. So I decided to order an Intel 8265 wireless card. It was only 15 quid. And it was quite simple to fit in the end. Those little fiddly antenna connectors weren't too bad. They were a little bit of a fiddle, but not too bad in the end. So I stuck the 8265 in, thinking, okay, there was a compatibility issue between the Asus router and the previous 7265. The wife's work laptop with the 8260 is working fine. If I put the 8265 in, that will solve my issue. Put the 8265 in. I deleted all the traces of the 7265 before I installed the 8265. Put the 8265 in, instant freeze. I was like, you're joking me. No. I rebooted the router and it actually worked for a few minutes. I was like, oh, yes, it's working. And then same issue. I was like, how? It's two separate wireless cards. How can it have the same bloody issue? And why is it only this laptop? And I can't answer that, but it appears to be only the Asus router. I'm on 5 GHz now on my BT Home Hub router. Bear with me a second, I shall double check, but I do believe I am on 5 gig. I should have checked that before I did the stream. Yeah, look, 5 gig, 866.7. So we're looking good at the moment. And yeah, I'm on the BT Smart Hub, and that is working absolutely fine. So I'm rather upset because I've got a very expensive router downstairs, which is now not able to be used. It's odd though, because 5 GHz works with pretty much most other devices in the house, whereas just this laptop, and it's only in the last couple of weeks. However, last night I did put the router, just out of curiosity, I put it into recovery mode and put the oldest firmware I could find on it, firmware from 2015. Oddly enough, that worked really well, and I've never seen wireless this fast before. I pulled a file across from my MyCloud NAS, and literally I saw it come across at around about 78 megabytes per second. I've seen internal drives read slower than that. So it looks like, I'm hoping it's just a firmware issue on the router. And it's something that Asus can fix in their next update, because, as I said, it's just really bizarre how the 8265 and the 7265 both exhibit the same issue, and it's only on this laptop as well. I thought it might have been BIOS, but then there's been a further BIOS update for this laptop last night, and that's not fixed it. I am really at a loss. But yeah, the minute it goes to connect to 5 GHz on the Asus router, yeah, nah, not having any of it. So yeah, I cannot figure out for the life of me. I sat there in the advanced driver settings on the 8265, tinkering with all of these weird little settings. I was tinkering with all random settings on the router, and there isn't that many to tinker for 5 gigahertz. Beamforming on, beamforming off, beacon rates, DTIM intervals, multi-user, multiple in, multiple out, because that's what this new wireless card supports. So yeah, rather annoyed because I have wasted 15 quid, but then again, 15 quid wasn't a huge amount. And the 8265 is better in every way than the 7265 because it has support for Wave 2 AC, which is what all the new routers are going to come out with. And the minute I put it in, the wireless signal strength is much stronger. I can pick up routers from down the street, which is rather impressive with quite a strong rate, actually. When I rebooted the router last night, I connected to my secondary access point, which is down the end of the garden in the garage. And occasionally, if I connect to it, I can only connect at like 1 bar Wi-Fi strength. With the 8265, same antennas, no new antennas, same antennas. It connected at about 2 bars, or was it 2 or 3? But it was a lot stronger. So that's one good thing about the 8265. And I mean, to be honest with you, 15 quid isn't a huge amount. And it gave me dry run for the RAM upgrade because I will do a video of how to open it. It's not too bad to open, actually. It's 10 screws. 2 of them are fatter at the back corners near the hinge. But yeah, 10 screws. And then literally the hardest bit is you have to get a credit card or a plastic opening tool and just sort of gently prise it round. You feel like you're breaking the case because it proper goes snap, snap, snap. And as you run it round, you can feel it going. And yeah, it will eventually come off. I have done what Matthew Moniz done to his display, his review unit omen when he opened it, and put a very slight hairline crack in the case just above the SD card slot, but it's so tiny it's not even noticeable. You'd have to be looking for it. So yeah, if you do open it up, you would have to be extremely careful around the SD card slot. It seems to grip a bit tighter there. And obviously it's very thin. It's a bit of a silly place to do it, but got the case off, no problem at all. The Wi-Fi card was fairly simple to replace, so that's not a big issue. So yeah, I'm currently on my ISP provided router, which isn't the best in the world. But then saying that though, that's another thing I've noticed with this 8265 is that actually the ping rates and stuff are slightly better as well. I did a speedtest.net speed test this morning, and I saw my ping as low as 7 milliseconds. I've never seen it that low on anything. So the 8265 is an improvement. But then again, it wasn't. Now it turns out it wasn't even a necessary improvement. I could have lived with a 7265, which was a decent card anyway. So yeah, I've got the 7265 just sitting in the cupboard at the moment. But yeah, so I've writ off to Asus explaining that yeah, I think the 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi is dodgy. Explain to them my symptoms. So hopefully they'll get back to me and say, right, it's a firmware issue here. Have some beta firmware to test for us. Because the Asus RT87U has a very convoluted 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi setup. Basically, you've got the main router, so 2.4 and LANs 2, 3, and 4 are powered by the Broadcom chip, which is a dual 1 gigahertz chip. And then the 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi and the LAN 1 port is powered by a secondary co-processor, a dual 500 meg processor, yeah, Quantenna. And so it's potentially an issue there. And yes, HGF, it is still fooked. The 8265 had exactly the same symptoms, although it is slightly better. When it does freeze, the 7265 would completely lock up. The 8265, you'd see the signal drop and then sort of come back, and then you'd get crawling along slow internet. It would still work, but yeah. And I've noticed when I go into the Asus network map, it shows you exactly how fast every device is sending and receiving on your network. And when it freezes, I've noticed that the router is saying it's transmitting to the laptop at 867 meg, which is what it should be, as you can see there. But then it's saying it's only receiving from the laptop at 6 meg. So I've tried all the little weird Wi-Fi settings, all the advanced driver settings. I cannot for the life of me figure out what setting is causing the incompatibility, and as to why it's only this laptop. As I said, my wife's work laptop is a Windows 7 laptop, but the wife's work laptop with the Intel 8260, which is the Wi-Fi card in between the 7265 and the 8265, it goes 7265, 8260, 8265. So her work laptop with the 8260 never has a problem, connects to the VPN and everything. Absolutely perfect. It's only this laptop, and it's both with both the 8265 and the 7265. So I cannot for the life of me figure it out. The only thing I can think of is that the router just needs to have either a firmware update or, the worst case scenario, an RMA to Asus. The good thing is the Asus does provide a 3-year warranty, and the router is only 3 months old, so it's not. I shouldn't have any issues getting it sent off. The only downside is the company I bought it from has don't allow you to return it for another brand. It's like, oh yeah, it's one of those clay disclaimers when you buy it. Oh yeah, once it's been installed, we don't accept it back. Oh, okay, cheers for that. Yeah, you have to go through the manufacturer. So it looks like if it is a case of returning it to Asus, it looks like they'll end up either just replacing it with another 87U, which is most likely going to have the same bloody issue. But as I said last night, it was weird. I put the oldest firmware I could find on HTF, and literally it was a janky, insecure firmware from 2015. You know, that by all accounts there's been big security holes what were found and later patched in newer versions, and it worked. So I've never seen the Wi-Fi connect that quick. I could flog it on eBay, but I'd end up losing probably about 100 quid in it. And when the wife has said no more money on Wi-Fi devices. So yeah, looks like I'm going to have to persevere it, because I did have a TP-Link Arch SC9 prior to it. I bought that in October, and the stock firmware had freezing issues with the iPhones. The iPhones would freeze, and you'd have to toggle that airplane off and on. Basically, the same kind of issue is I'm having with the Asus and the laptop. And basically, with the stock firmware, yeah, the iPhones would freeze every so often. So in the end, I put DDWRT on it, which was absolutely amazing. Worked perfect. I went to update it, and then it just bricked itself. And without soldering and hacking into it, it's bricked. So then a few months after I bought that, I then went and bought the Asus. And yeah, she's not happy with the fact that I spent about 300 quid on routers in the last few months. So she has basically said, yeah, no more money on bloody wireless. So I'm hoping that it is just a driver issue, that Asus can either send a patched firmware out or something. Because as I said, it's just weird. It's only this laptop that has the issue. It's with both the Wi-Fi cards as well. And because I honestly thought putting a new Wi-Fi card in, it would fix it, because obviously the router only sees the Wi-Fi card. It doesn't see the rest of the laptop behind it, so it only sees the Wi-Fi card. So I figured changing the Wi-Fi card would completely solve it, but clearly it doesn't. So yeah, not happy about that, to be honest with you, but what can I do? And as you can see now, this is it connected to 5 gigahertz on the BT Smart Hub, which is, the less I say about the Smart Hub, the better, really. The Smart Hub would be the perfect router if it had something like DDWRT on it, because BT's firmware is, oh my god, it's the most awful firmware going. When I first had it, the SkyQ box would be connected to the internet, but then the apps on the phones wouldn't connect to it. AirPlay devices were dropping off the network left, right, and Chelsea. We then had my daughter's iPad and then get the same IP address as the Apple TV, and so neither the Apple TV or the iPad would connect. Oh, and now this was through factory restores and everything as well. It just wasn't having it. So The hardware in it, though, has been absolutely brilliant. The hardware on the smart hub is fantastic. It's Wave 2 802.11ac, same as the Asus router, and it's really quick as well. But it's just the rest of the software behind it is just absolutely arse. So yeah, it's a bit crap, to be honest with you. So yeah, so it looks like I'm gonna have to fight with Asus to see if they can either patch the firmware, replace it with another, or if I can do it, replace it with another model which doesn't have the Quantenna stuff in it, because other Asus routers don't have the Quantenna driver in it. They I think only the 87 has that weird setup. I think the other Asus routers have a more traditional setup, like what you would get with other brands. So I'll see if I can blag a free upgrade out of it. I doubt it, but we'll see. We'll see. So yeah, my Wi-Fi issues still persist. Oddly enough, if I lock it down to 2.4, because when I had the Asus router up and running, I put it onto I put a guest network on 2.4 and forced the Omen to connect to the guest network. No problems at all. No problems at all. Even with the 40 megahertz wide channels giving me a throughput of 300 meg, no problems at all. It's only the minute it connects to 5 gig, and as I said, it was really weird. It just sometimes the issue happens pretty much straight away. Sometimes it waits a little while, and then, as I said, running that really old firmware, which obviously you can't really run a firmware that old with known security holes. But yeah, running the oldest firmware I could find actually seemed to fix it. So yeah, it looks like Asus might have tinkered with something in one of the firmware updates, which has knackered the Wi-Fi driver. So yeah, because the firmware update I was running, 37378, fixed a load of security issues. I did try rolling back before that one, and yeah, the problem just kept happening. So we'll see. So yeah, back to the ISP router. Not happy, but again, they've got the 8265 in there now, and as I said before, the signal strength on that is brilliant. The signal, it is picking routers up from down the street. Wait a second. Let's see if I can do this without broadcasting me BSS IDs and stuff out. Here we go. Oh, no network's found now. There you go. So there's my smart hub. That's downstairs. Next door's 5 gigahertz devices, so that's not too bad for being downstairs. And then on 2.4, you've got all of the other networks around the area. It's really picking up some. I mean, that one, I don't even know where half of these are. That 6CF9 is next doors, which is pretty strong signal. All of these weaker signals, I've never seen that Sky C7F99 before. That's never appeared before. So the 8265, from what I can see, does appear to be a far more sensitive card, and it is able to pick up a lot of networks. So there's one thing there, and it's also Bluetooth 4.2. So I don't know what difference that makes over 4.0, what the 7265 was, but well, it's newer, I guess. So yeah, Asus router. But what I don't quite understand is why it worked absolutely fine for ages, and then all of a sudden it just started happening. You know, I got the laptop in the middle of February. The router arrived in the beginning of March, and it worked from March, April, May, no problems at all, absolutely perfect. And then come sort of June time, just dead. You know, I thought, was it because the laptop has had BIOS update, because that would be the only thing what would explain why the Wi-Fi would be having the issue between Linux and Windows, would be if something in the BIOS was causing it. But I've gone into the BIOS and there's nothing to do with wireless in there, so I really don't know what to do. And unfortunately, I can't roll it back. I have tried downloading the older BIOS, F35, what was on there prior, but when you try to reflash it, it says can't open a security signature or something, so it won't do it. and since it's had a F38 update as well. No, because I had the creators update preview on there prior. In fact, I had the creators update preview on there in March, April, and it worked absolutely fine. And now I'm actually running stock Windows at the moment. This isn't a preview, because the only reason I installed the preview a couple of weeks ago as part of my diagnosis was, okay, was it a cumulative update? But where I cleaned the laptop so rigorously, I tried I tried rolling back, but it wouldn't let me because I cleared all the rollback files. So I put the preview on to go forward, and it was still having the same issue. So that's where I then completely reinstalled Windows and got this lovely clean install on. As I said, with the Windows and all that works absolutely amazingly at the moment. I've done the cleanest install you're likely to get. Yeah, that was the one good thing about actually having all these Wi-Fi issues. I didn't want to have to reinstall Windows because it was working all right as it was, but it's even better now. It's even cleaner. It's even more lightweight. Literally, when I'm not doing anything, this whole system will just slow all the way back down. The processor downclocks to like 700 meg and just sit at 0% usage, 0% disk usage, 0% network, and the RAM on idle sits at about 22% used. Whereas previously on the previous install of Windows on idle it would be sitting at 30%. So I've managed to clean an already clean install of Windows. So yeah, so no, it wasn't anything to do with the previews. And as I said, it was Linux as well. I used a Ubuntu Live USB, and it still had the same issue. As I said, I thought it might have been the 7265 because they are the 7 series Intel AC Wi-Fi cards are known to be a bit crappy. And as I said, the wife's work laptop has the 8260, and that works absolutely fine. That's why I got the 8265, and yeah, nah, I don't know. But as you can see, with the ISP provided router, it's working all right, but I don't really want to keep the BT Home Hub on for too long because BT decide to tap into it, as many times that they just dial in and I don't like it, and they change settings like once. I don't ever use BT Wi-Fi, but once they decided to dial into it and turn it back on, which then meant hours worth of phone calls later to get them to turn it back off again. So it's like, yeah, nah. So yeah. Wireless issues still persist. New Wi-Fi card didn't fix it. Brr, anger. So, yeah. Well, that's it for this one. I just thought I'd give you guys an update on the wireless woes, and I'll let you know how I get on with Asus. If they do decide to send me a new router out, then I'll even do an unboxing of it as well. Woo! So, anyway. If any of you guys watching have got any ideas what setting it could be, then let me know in the comments below, because I've tried tinkering with a few of these settings here, and I've tried tinkering with some on the router. If any of you have experienced these issues before, and you can come on and go, right, it's this random acronym, turn it on or off, then put it in the comments below, because I am completely out of ideas. I've dedicated too many hours of my time to doing this. And yeah, I'm hoping my new RAM comes tomorrow. The annoying thing is, as I said in my previous video about when I got the Wi-Fi card, a one-man band in the Outer Hebrides can get me a Wi-Fi card within just over 24 hours. Amazon, my RAM, has not even been dispatched yet, and there's a bloody Amazon warehouse just down the flipping road from where I live. It's kind of embarrassing, really, but I highly suspect, I highly suspect that Amazon are delaying shipments on purpose to make their Prime service look a bit better. There's been a lot of speculation online that Amazon are deliberately slowing down their free shipping process to make Prime look that much better. So yeah, I'm a bit pissed off that I actually ordered my RAM from Amazon now, to be honest with you. I wish I'd have ordered it from Crucial. I'd probably had it by now. But I'm not doubting that the RAM will make things better anyway. 12 gig will be quite a lot for this. So yeah. Mrs. 3D's also already gone mental at me. She's fed up with hearing about Wi-Fi. I mean, I was very tempted to go and purchase either a Linksys WRT 1900 AC or the Netgear R8000 X6 Nighthawk. Both 170 quid's worth of routers, but I think because I've had 300 quid's worth of routers already, I ain't going to spend that much on a new one. So I'm hoping I can blag an upgrade off Asus. That would be quite nice if I could blag the AC 3200, because it does say in our RMA process that if we can't replace it, repair it, or whatever, we'll upgrade you to the next model. So I'm hoping that they'll either turn around and send me another 87U out. It will have the same issue, and I can go, right, it's the 87U compatibility, send me the 3200, that'd be nice. But we'll see. So yeah, I guess I'll be on the phone to Asus tomorrow and tell them. Chances are, as I said, because it's I installed the old firmware from 2015, and honestly, it worked absolutely amazing. As I said, I pulled a file over from the network attached storage at like just under 80 megabytes per second. I have never seen wireless that quick. In fact, I've seen internal hard drives not even that quick. So the fact that with the old 2015 firmware, which the only way I could get the 2015 firmware on is to do it via recovery mode, kind of suggests to me that in one of the updates along the line, they've tinkered with the 5 gigahertz driver and it's then caused an incompatibility. Why it took 3 months for the incompatibility to become an issue, I haven't got a clue, but they've done something. And yeah, so yeah. So at the moment we're on the BT Smart Hub. At least we've got internet, and at least I've got options. I've got a proper little stash of routers. I've got a BT Home Hub version 1. I've got a BT Home Hub version 2A. I've got a BT Home Hub 3A and a 3B. I've got a BT Home Hub 4. And I've got 2 BT Home Hub 5As. And I've got a BT Smart Hub 6A. So I have got plenty of choice when it comes to wireless transmission devices. If I wanted to, I could probably plug them all in and completely destroy Wi-Fi in the entire neighborhood if I'm feeling particularly evil. So yeah, I've got backups if I need to, and I'm running the Smart Hub, which at the moment seems to be running okay. Looks like the new firmware update they pushed out in March might have fixed a lot of the DHCP issues, but I really don't want to be using it as long for very long, because I prefer using Google's DNS and everything as well. Not because I do anything nefarious, but I just prefer using Google's DNS because it's more reliable, and it also allows me to have full IPv6 connectivity as well through the Asus. So I'm all future-proofed with that. And then it also gives me the USB port as well for network attached storage, which works rather well as well. So yeah. I really don't know why the Asus is only having problems with this laptop with 2 different Wi-Fi cards in this laptop, and when everything else is working okay. But I'll say to Asus, I mean, I have had a little freezing issue with the iPhone when I first got it, which makes me think that maybe the firmware what I had before was causing the iPhones to do the freezy. Then the firmware's obviously been updated. Now the laptop's doing the freezy, and the iPhones are working all right. So you can't bloody win. So yeah, and unfortunately, because of the weird Quantenna setup, DDWRT 5 gigahertz doesn't work very well on it, which is a shame. Because actually the Asus, because it has that recovery mode, I've been able to flash the DDWRT and then back to Asus WRT with no issues at all. It's actually really easy to do. And if my TP-Link Archer C9 would have had a similar recovery mode, then I wouldn't have got the Asus in the first place, because the Archer was absolutely fantastic. But yeah, enough said about that one. I'm still gutted that I busted that router. Literally, a DDWRT just broke it. The update, anyway. Because DDWRT was working absolutely lovely on it. Anyway, I've rabbited on enough. I'm tired. I was up till about 2 a.m. faffing, because I had to wait till everyone else was offline before I could change routers and change firmwares and everything else. So, yeah, I'm not very, very tired. So, yeah, I'm going to end this stream now, or I'll end up rabbiting for another 5 hours about Wi-Fi and repeating myself. So, cheers for watching, and again, if any of you have any suggestions on how to fix it, then let me know in the comments below. Cheers for watching. Bye.